Alright muchachos, welcome back to day 2 of Angel and his shenanigans. I am your host, Afraid of Ghost, and the most impressive when it comes down to shenanigans, Angel. Okay, so day 2, we're getting started on the Hotshot bed. Today I'm going to be recording on the GoPro instead of the Insta360. Both different quality of cameras, just different things. The GoPro does have a media set, or what's it called, a multimedia, so it can record better audio than the Insta360 can. But anyways, here's where we were left off. I have my wood cut out to the size of the ram that I needed. This is going to be a 44-inch wide board by 5 feet across, which is the inside of the truck, with about an inch space between each end, so inch space until it hits the plastic on the truck. So I decided to do 5 feet flat instead of 5'2", so when I put in the board, it doesn't rub against the plastics. It just gives me a hair bit of space so I can protect the interior of a truck a little bit. Yes, it is a work truck, but I want to maintain it nice, clean, even. So where are we at? I bought this foam for $25 on Facebook Marketplace. I love Facebook Marketplace. It is like the best thing ever since fucking sliced bread. Bought this in king size, 3-inch gel and foam combination. I bought this guy right here, which is my portable power station. It's an EcoFlow River 2. I haven't had too much of a chance to play with it, but I got it home, I charged it, so now it's pretty much good to go for the road adventures. Yeah, it's a 99%, but I want to be a stickler for that last percentage right there. Yeah, cook it up right there. So this is going to be powering my Wi-Fi router, my my T-Mobile Wi-Fi router. And it's going to be powering my fan, and it's going to be powering a few other things that I could think of. Charger for the fan, for the Harbor Freight fan. So what we got in store today is we're going to be putting that down on the floor. We're going to be smocking that up on top of it, and we're going to be cutting out, outlining. Okay, so the plan is going to be laying that king size foam on the ground here on the space that I made for here in my living room. Putting that on top of it, getting some Sharpie, outlining most of it on top of the foam, and then I'll cut out the foam. Whatever's left, I'm going to try to make a second mattress, or a second full-size mattress, so I can have a 6-inch foam instead of a 3-inch foam. Since it is wood, it's probably not the most comfortable thing, and 3-inch would probably be just okay, but I want that 6-inch foam so I can lay comfortably on it. Other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be using some of my old detail rags. I use these to polish my E30 when I revived it. That's why it's all red. It was a red E30. So I'm going to cut some strips and squares off of these rags so I can place them around the corners, and mainly around the edges, so it doesn't cut up the fitted sheet. Although there is no fitted sheet that's going to fit this very specific thing, I think that if I can put those on the corners and on the edges, it's going to protect the sheets a little bit more. And then this is going to go somewhere here in the middle, which is where the center console is on the RAM, to prevent it from chafing through and rubbing onto the center console, scratching it, making it look ugly. So that is the plan. Cool, now that we got our square, it's time to go ahead and start cutting this out. I bought myself a little knife from Harbor Freight. Should be enough to cut this, theoretically, hopefully, hope so. So yeah, I'll cut that out, and then it looks like I should be able to almost get 2 out of it, maybe a couple of inches. So if I cut straight down this way right here from this line, I can use this second part of the foam, probably like about 2-3 inches on the side. Just cut that out and it'll make up for the 2-3 inches that I need over on this side. Okay, time to cut the second square. So the remainder of it is right here, this big L piece. So this is almost enough. All I gotta do, just cut this little section right there, lay it down, grab this piece, kind of jenga it over to this side right here, and then just start sticking it onto the actual board. the first foam, I always said I have everything cut up here. Well, I have the second piece cut up, mocked up next to the main body of it. The only thing is I wonder how what I'm gonna have to do to get this measured out right here. Looks like a few inches, 4 inches. I might even get lucky and be able to cut it from right here from this hole. How far is that? No, it's about an inch over. I could probably cut it right here, 1/2 centimeter before this hole, and just cut it straight down. And if there's any slack, it is what it is. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, first layer of foam is on. It's not the prettiest. Obviously there's like small cracks right here in between. It didn't mash up the best, but it's sitting. Edge is somewhat close. I did mess up a little bit right there, and I can't lift it up anymore because the super glue or the Gorilla Glue did kick in, and it's actually holding really nicely. I used this Gorilla Spray adhesive stuff, and well, I used the remainder of the can, so I'm not going to be able to stick the rags onto the ends. I've just been walking on it little by little like this, just trying to get everything stuck onto the board, and it's going very well actually. So as I'm recording this is actually a couple months later. I wanted to get a chance to actually try out the bed before I posted anything or finished editing the video. Where I'm at with it is that it was very inexpensive to make. It is actually very, very comfortable. Mind you, this is a a crew cab. The mega cabs, you can build a better bedding situation. You can always remove the passenger seat. I've seen a lot of guys that get rid of this guy and have a bed that just comes from the front all the way to the back. Reason I can't do that, wifey goes with me 25A over the road. She is my dispatcher, and I have her just giving me the loads as I go or as we go, and she dispatches both trucks. It makes a lot more sense for me to have a bigger bed situation in the back, keep my passenger seat, and be able to sleep comfortably. I did initially use this Amazon bed that I found. It hooked up onto the headrest, so you would just get a loop and it would follow through here, lay on the back seat, and it would have a piece of wood that would make up for the space that's in between the seat and the back of rest. So I used that, very uncomfortable for the first 2 days, but now that I have done this bedding situation, I am happy to report that I absolutely love it. So I have a mess back here because I was getting ready to leave and go over the road, have all my food and all my clothing set up back here. The only con to this is I didn't give myself space underneath here to put on my clothes and my baggage, but I do have enough space for me to put in my PPE, my boots, any and other tools that I would need go down here. It is 6 inches thick, so it's enough for me to be able to sleep happily, and the foam is actually really thick, and truthfully, there's enough space, man. The only problem is that sometimes I rub up against this at night when I'm flipping and flopping around trying to get comfortable, but I really like it and I really enjoy this bed setup. Another recommendation would be leave that plastic that sits right there so you don't ever bump your head like the wifey did. But yeah, that's kind of the bed. Well, I'll throw everything in the front so you can see it. It's enough distance or enough space for the seat to be far enough back to be comfortable up in the front and still manage to fit both pillows right here side by side. The Ram does have a couple of inch of space back here. You could see from where the door jamb is to back there is at least a couple of inches, and you're losing all that space with the back seat back here. So you rip off that back seat and you can have the full bedding